What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. We are moving up. We're moving up. With yesterday's close, about 4 hours ago, 4.5 hours ago or so, 4 hours, 40 minutes ago, we have a monthly close. And it was actually a green month, you guys. It was a green month to the effect of 12.7%. On a weekly basis right now, with the current price in mind. If in 19 hours and 37 minutes we close here, we are forming the most bullish candle that we've seen since the end of June. The RSI has double bottomed off the 50. We took a price bounce literally from here, from this previous area of resistance, bounced right off it. I wonder if there's anything else. I mean, previous area of support right back here, right? Resistance a little bit right down here. Yeah. Somewhat significant. I mean, we tipped it. We literally tipped it, and we've had a very positive reaction out of it. You know, if you're like me and you're expecting lower prices to buy at lower prices, you know, boo-hoo, I'm sorry. You know, we didn't get it. I feel your pain, but you have to adapt. You have to be adaptable, be malleable, be able to understand, really, that we're still at a very low point for Bitcoin Cash. If we take the overall fib from all-time high to all-time low, you can see we found a little bit of resistance at the 382. And we found some support at the 236. If we maintain this fib structure and we work our way up it, there are new all-time high prices in this 13,000 to 23,000 area potentially by the end of this cycle. We're at $237 right now. Anybody, any mathematicians out there, maybe just people who are decent at math, who can tell me what 237 times what equals 23,215? It's essentially a 100x, okay? Maybe 13,000 is where we go. You know, I would expect that at the minimum by the end of this cycle. That's kind of my expectation. I've made that public on a lot of videos, although I haven't talked about it lately because we've been more focusing on the immediate stuff, but 13,000 at a minimum. If 23,000 is a 100x roughly, then 13,000 would be something like, you know, over a 50x still. So very, very impressive price gains by the end of this cycle, even at the current price. Okay, even at the current price, so far away from the most relative lows that we had, right? And I know it didn't go as low as I was hoping it would go. You know, I did scoop some up on this drop down here on this day. Actually, I did scoop some up, but I was hoping to scoop a lot more up if we went lower than that, and I was thinking that we would go lower than that. Sorry, I had a bug fly right in front of me. I can't wait for winter, man. All the bugs die. I cannot wait for it. But I don't think we're getting that anymore, guys. I think that this is the low. I think we have higher lows. We have higher highs. It's the first higher high that we've seen since June. The most bullish week we've seen since June. Volume is increasing as we're moving up. All good things. All good things. So I really do think that, you know, maybe now is not the time to buy at the top of this range. Maybe it is. Who knows? That's up for you to decide. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But I do think that we're close enough. You know, I think we'll get some kind of pullback here, probably to this previous area of support right down here at about 220, maybe even 215, something like that. I did have buy orders yesterday set at 205, 210, and 215, and I have moved them up to 215, 220, and 222. 215, 220, and 222. All of them are equal. They're all, you know, 33% of what I'm trying to buy on Bitcoin Cash. So that's just, you know, full transparency as to what my game plan is. I do think that it has some kind of pullback between then and now. You know, with that in mind, this week, again, if we can close this week like this, if this day can close green, we're doing some very key stuff, you guys. We rejected the overbought zone, but then we got right back into it. The day that we got out of it was more or less a fake out to the downside, and we came right back into it the next day. This kind of setup generally is very, very bullish, okay? There's times where it's not. You know, you came back into it here, more of a rejection out of it, but you didn't get back into it immediately. You came down, the next day you were still out of it, and then the next day you were still even out of it. It took 3 days to get back in it, where here, one day you were right at it, the next day you were out of it, and the very next day, which is today, you're back in it. So I do think that this would supplement the idea that we are in some kind of bullish continuation, immediate continuation, if today can close green. If today can close green. And not only with the RSI is there bullish signs, but on the price itself, if you see this previous area of support here, you can see that we might be finding support in the same area. Last time that we found support here, we went up to about 266. We're at 237 now. That would give us an overall kind of price growth of about 12%, something like that, right? Yeah, 12%. So, I definitely wouldn't want to miss out on that. If we were to make that kind of expansion up, I would think that if we came back down, we'd find support on this area, and it'd just be basically the same buy at the exact same price. Or potentially we do go down to this 220 area and still find support there. So depending on how today closes, guys, I might not be playing this game with it. I might just get in and just kind of say screw it. Let's get in and go along for the ride. I'm very much that close to pulling the trigger because I don't want to miss out on this thing. I don't think anybody wants to miss out on something they've been watching for a while and watch it go up without them. I've watched it go up enough without me. And to be fair, I've got some that I scooped up on this, but I have the majority of the cash that I wanted to put into Bitcoin Cash saved for lower prices, which we just never saw. So with that, you have to adapt. You have to be malleable. You have to be pliable and adaptable. I'm just using a bunch of words that more or less mean the same thing, right? Looking at this here on the weekly, we are almost at the 50. We are very close to the 50. I would think that if we get above this purple line and we cross the 50 on the long-term RSI, that would be a very, very bullish signal. Along with the fact that at that point we'd be above this overall 618 from the top to bottom. We would be above that, and that would mark continuation to the extension zones, which would be anywhere from about $400 to $507, with the potential to go even higher than that. The 2272 right here is literally at this previous topping zone, so we could see deeper extensions from this for sure, because on the overall move itself, this is a kind of smaller fib, but it's pretty significant. So I do think with this significant fib that expecting prices between about $400 to $500 is fine. It's fine to expect that. I do think that we could see prices that are in this range by the end of the year, potentially even higher than that by the end of the year. I do not think that we will break $800 by the end of the year, but I think that going up somewhere around there is possible. If not, somewhere around here. Now, what I want to be clear on is that I don't think that move that's going to take us up there, I don't think that it's going to happen like this move, right? I don't think that we're just going to go straight up there in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. I think it will take time. We have 3 months left in the end of the year, and that sounds about right to me. Moving up even at that steep incline of a line here, this is still very fast-paced, okay? It's slower than this. It's definitely slower than the slope of that, but more or less I would expect a similar move overall price-wise, but with more time taken. Okay, that's kind of my expectation. Looking at the daily, you guys, just so beautiful. I really wish I saw this sooner. I think I just had my eyes focused on lower prices, and that got the best of me, man. But look at just the support you're finding on this 123. You faked it out, and you came back above it, and then you tipped it here, and it's off to the races. So I do think that we are in the beginnings of this next phase up. Green light for Bitcoin Cash, man. I don't know if it's the best time to buy here. Let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour, to me, it does look like it wants to go down. I would not be surprised if this day closed red. Again, even if we closed red, what's the day up right now? The day's up 1.45%. So even if this day closed red, we'd likely still be above about like 227 or so, above like 220, I would expect by the end of the week, which would still be a bullish week, but maybe it'll look a little less bullish than this week as of right now. But again, the 4 hour itself does look somewhat like it wants to, the RSI wants to come down. We are rejecting the 60, the 60, the 60. We're rejecting it multiple times. I would think the next time we come down here, we probably go below the 50, and with that, we see some kind of more, not dramatic, but more serious move to the downside. Not too serious, but like something that would take us down here at this previous area of support, which is also coinciding with the previous area of resistance right there, right? Delete the circle. You can see I put it on this little wick here, lines up with those wicks there. We could go even lower down to the closing areas here, somewhere around 225 to 220. by the end of the day, maybe by tomorrow, something like that. And I personally am planning on buying down there. You know, I know that yesterday and the day before, I've made videos saying that I'm planning on buying around 200, 205, and 210. And then yesterday I made a video saying 205, 210, 215. Today, I'm telling you, I'm moving that up again. I'm buying at 220, 222, and 225. Those are my 3 buy orders. I've adjusted it now. I do think, you know, even if it goes lower, I'm buying. I'm just getting in, man, because I don't want to miss out on this. It is bull time. It really is bull time. And coming up from there, or coming down from there, would put us, you know, somewhere around the 382, a little bit below the 236. This kind of area would make sense to me. Maybe it does go a little bit lower, but again, I'm not trying to play the game. I'm trying to get in for a good position. And with that being said, again, you know, from the very beginning of the video, I was talking about this all-time high. I think I was talking about it in the beginning of the video. All-time high to all-time low, you know, minimum extension would be at 13K, and maybe, if not, somewhere around 23K. So something that's like a 50 to a 100X. I don't want to mess around with it. I just want to get in, and I think it looks good, man. So that's all I really have to say. 4 hour does look a little bit bearish. 1 hour looks kind of neutral. Neutral, not with a bearish look, really. Neutral, hard to say. I mean, the 4 hour might be more indicative there. The daily, you very well could. It would make more sense to me to, if you just came out of the overbought zone, to continue to go down and kind of hold this area here of support on your RSI. You know, you've got this like little trend line here. Hold that area and then move up. But if this day closes green, you guys, and we get back into the overbought zone, this would be a very strong signal, a very strong signal for immediate continuation. So depends on how today closes. You know, I might move my buy orders up again. It just depends. It really depends. Because again, coming in with today's close being green, this is a previous area of support here. Resistance here, finding support on it would be, I think, significant enough. So something to watch. I hope this made sense. You know, I feel like I was all over the place, but bullish things, you guys. Bullish things. The green dragons are flying. The red dragons are hibernating. It might not be quite the time to pull the trigger. I know it seems so close, but, you know, if we take into consideration you're at 237, if it went down to 220, that's about 7% of a difference. And that could be a huge difference, right? Let me just put it in perspective before I end the video. Let's say that we do think, you know, that this thing's going to go up to $23,000, okay? Up to $23,000. We'll take that. So from the current price, if it were to go to $23,000, right? About there, that's just under 23,000. That's 9,500%. That's a 96x, okay? If you were to take it from this 7% difference, right? Just a 7% difference here. It goes from being a 96, I'm going to try to get it just a little bit above, 96x to a 103x, okay? That is a whole 7x more. You know, I know it seems insignificant, but this 7% price difference can be the difference between a sizable amount of money by the end of the cycle. So I think you know, if you're trying to catch this and hold on to it for the long term, it is important to try to get good prices. It is important to get into, you know, DCAing. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you expect things to go lower, which I do, the 4 hour is kind of telling me that. I don't think that there's any point in buying just yet. Bullish though, man. Very bullish. And if today closes green, if it closes green, you guys, I'm gonna forego. I might pull a chase out of my deck of tricks here, my trick of decks, my deck of cards. There we go. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. So with that, I leave you. I hope everybody had a good time. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.